This is Josiah Plays The Elder Scrolls Online Thieves Guild DLC. We are here in Abaz Landing in the lovely realm of Hughes Bane, which looks small here on this map, but I bet it's big as fuck, considering how big Gold Coast was. Like, this looks small too, until you're actually running around exploring it. They look like they're about the same size. Gold Coast might be slightly bigger. Alright, I have multiple quests. I need to get a sailor's pipe, I need to meet Zira, and I need to pickpocket some personal effects. I do have a skill point to spend, and I am going to put it into pickpocketing. Light fingers. Now I have a 20% bonus to my pickpocketing chance, which is nice because on certain targets you can get up to a 75% chance base, so on those targets I could have a 95%, which greatly reduces the risk of failure. Not bad. Yes, I have some trafficker ranks as well, which Saito is very fond of pointing out. Suggesting things about me that are not true. So I think what I kind of want to do is explore this town whilst picking lots of pockets and so forth. When do I get my next skill point? Oh, I'm almost 26. It would be really nice to hit level 26 and get one more rank of pickpocketing before I start trying to go on a real pickpocketing spree. So maybe before I do the pickpocketing quest, I should, like, if I want to pickpocket her, that was a 95, see? So I got a treasure, a portable chamber pot. That's a lovely thing to take off somebody. See if I can talk to anybody. So this is a big town. There's a lot of exploration to happen here. Nope! That wasn't what I intended to happen. I wanted to look under here. I'm already fucking lost in this place, seriously. Sep Adders looking cool. Abaz Landing. I should read that other book. Abaz Landing Merchant Lords, Volume 1. Prepared by Tamriel, Master of Secrets for the Queen of Tanith. Grandiose, arrogant, self-important. All these words and more can be used to describe the self-styled merchant lords of Abaz Landing. The four mercantile houses began to take shape about 160 years ago. They began as legitimate businesses working to elevate Abaz Landing and create a center for trade and commerce between High Rock and Valenwood. But Hugh's Bane has never been cooperative to those who tried to carve civilization out of the wilderness, and, despite their best efforts, each mercantile house slowly became more corrupt as the pursuit of illegal profits quickly outdistanced more above-board enterprises. The four houses emerged as the At-Adden Syndicate, House Vian, the Thazar Cartel, and Gurges and Associates. In time, the lords of these four houses controlled almost all of the commerce and gold flowing through the port city, both legitimate trade and illicit activities. Most of their profits came from smuggling, slavery, and other unlawful traditions. See, I'm already not a fan. The merchant lords supplied Abba's Landing with goods and services, while also establishing lucrative, if modest, trading partnerships in distant lands. As fortunes grew in Abba's Landing, it wasn't long before other groups began to take an interest in the area. This began a long and tumultuous relationship between the merchant lords and local criminals and crime bosses. Indeed, rumors of a hidden merchant house even began to circulate, and evidence abounds of a covert war being fought among the houses and the so-called hidden house. While I have not been able to uncover, and yes, I actually just made the air quotes gesture with my fingers when I said hidden house, even though nobody can see me. While I have not been able to uncover any details concerning this conflict, the outcome can clearly be seen. Gurges and Associates was shattered, and the other three houses were reduced to pale shadows of their former glory, as a clandestine power emerged as the controlling interest in the port city. For the last 15 years or so, the merchant houses took a step back. Oh, they continued to engage in business and provide funds to support city services, including guards and infrastructure, but they no longer showed the swagger and bravado that exemplified their behavior for the decades prior to that time. Though no mayor or merchant house or secret guild took center stage, it appears evident to me that someone or something has influenced Abba's Landing from the deepest shadows. For this reason, I urge caution when dealing with Hugh's Bane. In my next report, I'll begin to provide background on each of the prominent merchant houses operating in the area. Note: these dispatches were recovered from a Tanith vessel and delivered to an interested party in Abba's Landing. I have published them so that we may all know what our cousins across the bay think of us. Anonymous. I see. Cool. You know what else I should read real quick? Hold on. Alright, this ain't got fuck all to do with this area. This probably ain't got fuck all to do with this area. This doesn't look like it's got fuck all to do with this area. Red Eagle. Okay, that's not about this area. Triumph of the Set Adder, though. Triumph of the Sep Adder. Now we love us some Sep Adders around here. Team Sep Adder. Wayrest offered few options. The sale of the Chubloons. Oh, I gotta sell me some Chubloons. Chubloons for sale. That's right, Chubloons for sale. Chubloons for sale. That's right, I got Chubloons for sale. Alright, sale of the... See, that's like based on the... When I was in prison, there was a lot of selling of things that were stolen from the kitchen, right? That would take place in the fucking halls or on the tiers or whatever. And there was this one guy who was actually, at one point, he was one of my cellies. His name was Kevin Welsh. And he would go and get... Actually, I don't think Kevin Welsh was the one that originally did this. I think he just started doing it as a joke after seeing this other guy doing it. Because I think the other guy that did it, I don't remember what his name was. but he was a funny dude. Anyway, the guy that originally used to sing this song would cruise down the halls, and he'd steal stuff from the kitchen because he worked in the kitchen, and he'd get stuff like bacon. You know, because bacon was always a hot item. If you could steal cooked bacon, and you'd have to, you know, you'd have to hide it on yourself really good, because if you worked in the kitchen, you would get searched pretty carefully every time you got off work and left to go back to the cell house. So, you know, where he was hiding this stuff was very questionable, right? And he would walk down the tiers being like, bacon for sale. That's right, I got bacon for sale. Bacon for sale. That's right, I got bacon for sale. I need maybe a little few variants of the song from time to time. And, you know, people would come out and they'd buy some bacon from him. I bought some bacon for him once. So, anyway, and he'd have other things besides bacon, but bacon was like the quintessential example. And so we started joking about it, me and this Kevin Welsh guy, about how funny that song was, and also how funny, you know, the concept of how he stole this bacon, because they search you pretty fucking good. So we're like, he must have taken that little plastic bag of bacon and like shoved it up under his ball sack or something. Right? So we started calling it ball bacon. The bacon that was smuggled out of the kitchen, we started calling it ball bacon. And then we'd sing our own little version of the song. Ball bacon for sale. That's right, ball bacon for sale, you know. And it became this whole running joke. And then I told my friends in Denver about that, and it became a whole running joke with them. And apparently they shared it with a lot of people, because I went over to my old roommate's mom's house. Okay? And she's like an old woman, you know, just like the typical older mom kind of person that you wouldn't expect to, you know. And I'm at his mother's house for Thanksgiving, and all of a sudden I hear her sing the ball bacon song and start laughing and looking at me like like she was all excited to be in on the joke. And I'm like, oh my god, dude, your mom just sang the ball bacon song? What the fuck? So it was like a little meme among the people I knew in Denver. It was pretty funny. So now it's been shared with all of you. Ball bacon. What the fuck did that have to do with the triumph of the Sep Adder? I don't know. I don't even know what brought that to mind just now. It had something to do with something. Right? Oh, Chubloons! That's why I started doing the Chubloons song. Chubloons for sale. That's right, I got Chubloons for sale. Yeah, that's why. Because I adapted the song to Chubloons, because I don't know what a Chubloon is, but it sounds really funny. Turned out his bacon was actually beef. No. Hello, dearie. Would you like some ball bacon? I've also got these nuts clusters. Honey bunches of oats. Right. So Chubloons, whatever those are, I got some under my ball sack for sale right here. The sale of the Chubloons recovered some of our fortunes, but not enough to make it worth the annoyance. We bought a leaky ship and sought some cargo to sell on the coast as we returned to our homeland. I, Zabiako, did not truly trust the broker at the docks, and I declined most of his schemes. But Zabiako, you must trade in delicacies, the scoundrel said. Sugars and rice will only earn you so much, but droog eggs packed in mud are prized by the rich, fat merchants of Abaz Landing. At the time, it seemed worth the risk. It was not. Droog, who shed their legs after mating and spend their lives in the sea, must have sensed the eggs in the hull, for they attacked our ship soon after leaving Sentinel. They rushed in with the water when the ship cracked open and took the eggs. This one lost consciousness before the ship broke apart completely. Fear not! This was not the end of Zabiako. There are still many more stories to tell and creatures to see, like the fascinating Sep Adder. To that in a moment. We awoke on a beach in the southwest portion of the land of Hughes Bane, a short journey by land from Abaz Landing. The journey to the city saw many adventures, including an encounter with an orc who thinks she's a shark, but the best part was the winged snake called by locals as the Sep Adder. Like the Chubloon, it is a silly thing to behold. It has no legs, yet moves around the ground like a snake. It has wings, yet cannot truly fly. Unlike the stupid birds, however, the Sep Adder manages to thrive and be graceful. It always has a means of satiating its ever-present hunger. Sep Adders live on fucking ball bacon. It is constantly on the prowl for its next meal, gliding along the lush shores of the land's rivers, picking bugs out of the sky and fish from the water. Later, as the land grew dry and the water less common, I saw more of them, plucking small mice from their little arid homes in the ground. It should be good at none of these things, but it is good at many things. It lives in the wetlands and dry. It is like Zabiako. This one was not born into money nor especially lucky, but through wit is able to overcome many misfortunes. See, I feel so much kinship toward this Sep Adder. The people of this land honor the Sep Adder. Alright, kinship ends there. For when approaching Abba's landing, we saw a great statue of a man wrapped in a giant snake with wings. I never saw one that large, but that's not to say they don't exist in the wilderness. If such a creature can overcome and be honored in such a triumphant way, maybe too Zabiako can overcome and find a place of honor somewhere. Even if it's only the honor of knowing where her next meal is coming from. Alright, so we're all about them Sep Adders up in... Uh-oh, the Red Curse, Volume 1. Wait a second. I have a thing about the Red Curse, but... I don't think the Red Curse... I mean, this is talking about Red Eagle from fucking Skyrim. What could that possibly have to do with this realm? I mean, if we find out that something about this realm has something to do with Red Eagle or the Red Curse, then we'll fucking read those books. But until then, we ain't gonna. Alright. It's all part of exploration. I have to break into the houses.
What'll I do?
This guy. I don't know what you'll do, but I know what I'll do. I'll break into Barez's house. Oh, I found Scrabble. Uh-oh, we got people back there. Now, do I want to start murdering townsfolk? I feel like I should try to avoid murdering people right now because I'm trying to be a thief, not an assassin. On the other hand, it's going to be hard to steal from these people.
Does trespassing give you a thrill?
How do you even know I'm here? I'm fucking hidden. Yes, it gives me a thrill. Try it sometime. Break into somebody's house and see how you feel. You'll be pretty fucking thrilled. The adrenaline is going. Every moment you're constantly worried about somebody showing up. Gotta plan your escape route. The first thing you gotta do. Figure out exactly how you're getting out. And exactly how to get back to that point as fast as possible. But you can't just pick one escape route because you never know. This happened to me once. And it's totally screwed me over. You never, except actually it led to a really cool thing. But it shouldn't have. It was just my crazy luck at the time. If you have one escape route planned and you haven't really thought ahead of any other way to... Oh, we got another thief in here. Haven't really thought of any other way to get out. If somebody shows up, then you can be really screwed. Because what if the person that shows up is in between you and your one escape route? Now you're scrambling. And that happened to me and I got caught. I got caught in somebody's house by a woman.
Are you a fox
that
about
lived
to
there.
steal an egg? I hope
And
not.
I had actually just taken a shower
I'm happy to show you the way out.
in her shower, because that was a thing that I used to do back then. because I was homeless, and I had to appear that I wasn't homeless to maintain the ruse of my life. So I needed to take showers and stuff and wash my clothes. And sometimes I could do those at friends' houses or whatever. But a lot of times I would just, if I was going to break into a house anyway to maybe steal some stuff, I would just go in there and I would do some laundry and take a shower in somebody's house. Which sounds like the kind of thing that would piss somebody off, but, you know. So I come out of the shower and I'm wrapped in a towel, and the woman had come home. She wasn't supposed to come home yet. Normally she worked all day, but she'd come home early that day for some reason. She straight up caught me. Now, the thing I had going for me when I got caught committing crimes back then was the fact that I was so young. I was a teenager. I was probably 15 when this happened. So you get a lot of sympathy, you know what I'm saying? As a kid. Oh, it's just a kid. If you did that shit as a 35-year-old dude, you're not getting that sympathy. What's happening right here? So, I pretty much just told her the exact truth, because I figured in that case it was my best tactic. There was no way I was going to lie my way out of that. I just told her the truth. I lived on the street, my parents had kicked me out, I didn't have a home. I was still trying to go to school and stuff, and make it on my own, because I didn't want to get caught up into the system and put into, you know, foster care or become a ward of the state or whatever, because I'd heard terrible things from other kids that had gone through that, and I was very scared of that, you know, and I played up the scared part, you know what I mean, and the desperate part. A little more than I probably actually felt at the time, but it worked out. She made me a big meal, let me hang out, we talked for a while. I got to do all my laundry. She didn't call the police or anything, and I left on good terms. Now, that's not the typical thing that's going to happen, so don't think, oh, I'm going to start a burglary spree, and when I get caught, I'll just have a nice chat with the people and everything will be great. Because that's not the typical scenario. Who the hell is this? Oh, this is a quest giver. That's why they have that little marker over their head. Alright. What's up, quest person?
This is very, very bad.
What's very bad? Tell me all about it.
These are troubling times. When we forget the past, it has a disturbing tendency to rear up behind us and bite us in the arse.
That's a grim prognosis.
Perhaps, but that doesn't make it less true. Did you know that Prince Hugh buried his family's secret shame in his own ancestral tomb? It involved his mad uncle Magnifico Baraha, who tried to form a necromantic cult under the prince's very nose.
Who the hell is Prince Hugh? Obviously this area is named after him, Hugh's Bane, so I don't know. And that would have been bad?
Oh, most definitely. Luckily, the prince discovered his uncle's treachery and trapped the necromancers inside the tomb. Priests were gathered to create a great seal to make sure they couldn't escape. Unfortunately, pirates decided to loot the tomb.
And now horrible undead liches and ghosts and shit have been unleashed. Is that what's happening here? I'll help if I can. What do you need me to do?
You must recharge the Great Seal. The necromancers are using the pirate's life energy to weaken it. Take my amulet, Spirit Catcher, and use it to capture the unleashed spirits. Then you can use that same energy to repair the seal.
How am I qualified to recharge a magical seal? How is that even in my skill set? It's your amulet. Why do you need my help?
I am the last of my order, and I walk a different path from you. If I die, the Great Seal will eventually fail and the necromancers will escape the tomb. I'd like to postpone that occurrence for as long as possible. I'm sure you understand.
So you just said, because I'm expendable, that's why. I would much rather that you die instead of me. Okay. I get it, lady. I get it. The necromancer's long dead? I said, naively.
Ah, I see you aren't familiar with the term necromancer. Trapped in a tomb, they embraced undeath before they could expire from lack of food and water. I don't like to consider how they went about accomplishing that feat.
You know, you always see this in these games, in these stories. All about people that made themselves undead so that they wouldn't die or whatever. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. There is not a fucking chance in hell I would do that. If I possessed the means to make myself undead, and I could prolong my life by doing that, there is not a damn chance. Hell no. Why would you want to be undead? That's just gross. How many spirits do I need to catch?
Not many. Once the amulet has absorbed enough spirits, you can use it to repair the Great Seal at the tomb's far end. Ironic that the same energy the necromancers used to weaken the seal can also be used to repair it.
Yeah, that's super ironic. Okay. Goodbye. Shit's like rain on your wedding day. Alright, well... It's hard to tell even where exactly you can explore in this place. What is this? I don't know what it is. Oh, that must be the buff from the bread that I ate. The stolen bread. Check your living privilege. Differently alive. They're just differently alive. I had to make myself dragon frog. Fuck you. I almost accidentally shot that dude. That would have been a problem. Every dragon... Maybe sap adders eat dragon frogs. I don't know what sap adders eat. They probably eat these rats, that's for sure. I feel like they have a rivalry with the dragon frogs, though, and every dragon frog I kill makes things a little bit better for the sap adders. Let's go in these apprentice lodgings. What kind of apprentice? Do not see me. You don't see me. I'm not here to murder you. I wish there was a way to knock people unconscious in this game, like a sap.
Do I have to summon a guard?
Like you've got in some other MMOs that have like thief, rogue type classes. Because it would be cool to be able to just come into these places and fucking sap these people. So that I could steal from them without... Oh, fuck.
What are your intentions,
Got a good
I
look?
wonder?
Good. Now you can go.
Please look away. I'm trying to steal this thing. There's nothing to see here, pal. Damn it. Peaks with hammer.
Guards, do something!
Damn it.
You make my skin dry, criminal.
I wasn't thinking there. I'm like, oh, 95% chance. Hell yeah, that's money in the bank. But I'm not thinking about the fact that this dude is literally standing right there looking at me.
Do I have to summon a guard?
You know where the door is. Use it.
What? Whatever, 35 gold bounties, nothing. That'll go away in a second. We're trying to thieve. We're doing some thieving. Oh, now we're talking. Safe box. But I'm worried that if I start picking that, somebody's gonna walk in here. So I need to wait and observe the patterns. Somebody gonna walk in here? That's the question. Or am I wasting my one window of opportunity right now? Yep, see, look. If I was picking this lock right now, I would be screwed. I think I'm good now. Let's go. While she's at the table. Gotta hurry. Get up and look over here at any moment. Master fucking thief.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Who? There's nobody here. Alright, I should just leave now.
Right. Settle down. That's not rude.
I want to know what kind of apprentices they were. Having terrible difficulty navigating this city and like having any idea where I am, where I've been. What's up, Koobs? Oh, I gotta remember, fuck! I've got a bounty. I can't just be casually striding through the streets. I've gotta watch out for guards for a few minutes until this bounty goes away. I don't want to do any crafting writs. I don't see any. Mazbayat's house. Seems like a good place to check out. Getting close. Mazbayat. Anybody in here? So far the answer is... Yep, there he is. It's Mazbayat. I'm still hidden, son. You don't see me. You don't fucking see me. I'd also just eat people's food a lot. Saved a lot of money that way. Like, if you're pretty sure they're going to be gone for a good long while, you might as well take advantage of everything they have to offer. Alright, I don't think he's coming back here right now. Alright, I think I'm done in here. Wait, who the fuck is this? You've got a dead body in your house and you're judging me?
What gives you the right to just barge in here?
Who gives you the right to have a dead body in your house? Watching for them guards. Them girds. Blacksmith. Hadrul's house. In we go. Bounty's down to 17. Feeling good. I don't see anybody. They're probably in the other room or upstairs or something.
Hey, who are you?
Yeah, fuck off. I got needs, okay? I'm poor. Ignore the fact that I'm carrying 37,540 gold right now. I'm poor. I got needs. Honestly, I'm not doing anything all that different from what all the big corporations and shit are doing. They're fucking you over. Wait, why is there a dead body in this house? What the fuck is going on around here? Ooh, Shorty Shalom's height enhancers. A pair of carved wooden wedges designed to be inserted into shoes, subtly increasing the wearer's apparent height. It's interesting. The people here seem a lot less freaked out about trespassers than the ones in some of the other cities. Like, they're not even talking about I'll call the guards, and, like, eventually people in other cities will actually call the guards if you trespass in their house too long. Finding dead bodies in all the houses, and it's not like we're in Anvil or Kvatch here, the murder capitals of the world. No!
I can respect someone who wants to get caught. And I do love doing the catching. Now, pay up, dear.
Nope.
So you
See
want to
ya.
play rough, do you?
Stop.
I think I lost her. Ain't happening, Dragon Frog. Why don't I get a pick? Oh, here we go. Woohoo! I'm pickpocketing a lot of chamber pots for some reason. Been in the apprentice lodgings. Oh, now my bounty's up to 87 though, because I eluded a guard. They don't like it when you elude them. They don't like it one fucking bit. Alright, I don't know where to go. Watching out for guards. Maybe I can pick this pocket right here. No! Guard! Fucking guards everywhere. I'll open up one cupboard, it'll be full of corpses. Right? Alright, let's go this way. What's this place? Fighters Guild. Let's check it out. I know there's gonna be a ton of guards in here, probably. Paul Stewart. Dennis. Corn pads. Fuck is a corn pad? These little cushions are applied to the skin with resin to mitigate irritation from type. Oh, that kind of corn. Right. Uh-oh. Relevant book here. It's about Prince Hugh. We're gonna have to read that in a second. What's up, Dread Hadil? No.
If you want to talk, clear things up with the guards.
Oh, seriously? Even with this low-ass bounty, they're gonna be bajiggity with me? Let he who is without sin cast the first stone, lady. Look, you've done bad stuff in your life. I know you have. What's up, Jen? Good to see ya. Alright, well, while I'm waiting around for people to stop hating me just for being myself, for doing what I need to do to survive in this cruel world. You know, and they're always like, get a job, just get a job. First of all, a lot of reasons why that's a problem. Well, especially for me. During my real time of crime, I was too young to fucking get a job. Like, yeah, there were technically places that would hire me at that age, but they were bullshit little jobs, you know what I mean? Like,
Quality and variety. Come see for yourself.
Not enough to live on. Alright. Prince Hugh. Oh, I got 2 Prince Hugh books. Cool. What's up, Jen? Prince Hugh and the Three-Legged Race by Petty Vizier Hafzifa Al-Yath. Hafsi! Prince Hugh called as he burst into my office. Is everything ready for the Festival of Blades? I stood, trying to cover Corvus Duretti's Principles of Conjuration with a parchment. The prince's eyes flashed. Reading Duretti again, eh? You know how I feel about magic in the palace, Petty Vizier. It isn't mine, your highness. I confiscated it from Jengish, the page boy. Blaming it on Jengish. Classic move. I smiled unconvincingly. And why aren't you wearing your official Petty Vizier turban? I glanced at the awful magenta and green headwear on the corner of my desk and tried not to make a face. It's too warm to wear a hat, your magnificence. Nonsense! It's the middle of first seed. But I want to know if preparations for the festival are on schedule. You know how much my people love a good party. I shook my head. They're Red Guards, your highness. They don't really go to parties much. Or at all. I shook my head. Oh, we just read that. That's about to change. Now, are we prepared for Pin the Tail on the Camel? Yes, your highness. Or we will be once Morad gets back from having the splint put on his leg. Bobbing for gore apples? Tubs, fruit baskets, and towels are all lined up in the west courtyard. The town guard's three-legged race? I cleared my throat. Well, there we have a problem, your sublimity, because none of the guards have signed up for the event. They're reluctant, because they remember how you punished Corporal Zakud after last year's race. He was cheating! I had to punish him! And after all, he still has most of his toes. Even so, I don't believe they'll do it. The prince tugged on his mustache irritably. What if you can assure them that I know they won't cheat by untying their legs because they won't be able to? This sounds good. This was bad. It meant the prince had had an idea, and it was always bad when the prince had an idea. What do you mean, won't be able to? I asked warily. Ha ha! Dorloon, come in here, he called. His bodyguard ducked his head under the lintel and came in from the hallway. Hafsi, stand in front of that Yokudan urn, Prince Hugh said. Dorloon, stand next to the Petty Vizier. I shrugged and we took our positions. Big Dorloon at my side, topping my height by a head and a half. Prince Hugh raised his hands in an arcane gesture, and I realized, to my horror, that he was about to try to cast a spell. But before I could protest, it was done. The spell was invoked, the magic surged over me, and I felt my left leg weld itself to Dorloon's right. No! I cried. Highness, what have you done? The prince gave his mustache a self-satisfied twirl. And yes, right now, as I'm reading this, I'm doing a motion up by my face as though I'm self-satisfiedly twirling a mustache. Did you think you were the only one who could read Corvus Duretti, Hapsi? I stripped the binding clause out of Koron's peremptory summons and discovered I could use it to bind other things than the will of a Daedra. Impressive, isn't it? I just gaped at him. Meanwhile, Big Dorloon looked down at our magically bound legs, grunted, and then tried to step forward. I had to grab his arm to keep from falling over, and even then I nearly dragged both of us down. Dorloon shook his head. This is bad, Master. Don't like it. Make it go away, Master. Oh, very well. Unbind! The prince said, and reversed the spell, but added an inadvisable gestural flourish that funneled far too much magicka into it. This is fucking good. I like this shit. Dorloon and I flew apart, hurled to opposite sides of the room, and the ancient Yokudan urn behind us shattered explosively. Suddenly, a swirling cloud appeared above the shattered jar, and a hollow, ringing voice cried, Free! Free! After an eon bound in that stinking jug, I'm free! The cloud rapidly coalesced into an armored floating torso with a helmed head and 4 arms, each of which gripped a huge scimitar. Now I take my vengeance on the world of mortals! The scimitars began to whirl menacingly. I glanced at Dorloon, but he'd gone headfirst into my marble bust of Morwa and was still stunned. Highness, I cried, use your spell! Bind that thing before it chops us into hors d'oeuvres! Prince Hugh's eyes goggled with horror. I can't! The unbinding spell drained all my magicka! It's up to you, Hafsi! I ducked as 2 scimitars whistled over my head and dashed behind my desk. The thing was between me and the door. It was up to me to bind it, but I hadn't cast a spell in months. Prince Hugh shrieked as a scimitar slashed the tassels off his golden fez. Koron's prison, Hafsi! It's our only chance! But that needs a container and the urn is smashed. Use this! And the prince tossed me the magenta and green petty vizier turban. 3 scimitars came down on my desk, smashing it to flinders. I love the word flinders. As I inverted the turban and cast Koron's perdurable prison. No! The demon cried as it dwindled into the hated hat. I loathe the scent of hair oil! And then it was gone. I was still trembling, but Prince Hugh blinked, took a deep breath, and smiled. Well, that didn't end too badly, did it? At least, not as bad as the Iron Regatta or that business with the pet Tokugawa. Now, where were we? I helped Big Dorloon up out of the marble dust of the shattered statue. We were canceling the guard's 3-legged race, remember? I suppose you're right, Hafsi. You usually are. He brightened. I have it! After the Gorapple bobbing contest, we'll have them use their crossbows to shoot the fruit off the heads of the losers. Oh, and, just get rid of that turban. This is pretty funny. Pretty funny. I love the idea of this incredibly foolish, bumbling prince constantly coming up with terrible ideas that are fucking shit up. Sounds amazing. It sounds like how I would be if I was a prince. Alright. Let's read one more story of Prince Hugh and the Hajmoda chariot. This sounds like it's going to be a disaster as well. Prince Hugh and the Hajmoda chariot. By Petty Vizier Hafzifa Al-Yath. Hafzifa! I mean, your oh, that's not the prince yelling. The page boy. Hafzifa! I mean, your semi-excellency. It was Jengish, the page boy, in a sweat from having run up the stairs. The prince wants you right away, in the stables. Hurry! Now what? I said as I shoved Ralibala's 11 ritual forms under my desk blotter. The prince had forbidden magic in the palace ever since his attempt to learn the water-breathing spell had left him temporarily unable to breathe anything but water. I told him he was inverting the 5th and 6th syllables, but he'd ignored me. Are the skeevers into the oats again? Nope, Jengish smiled slyly. You'll have to see these for yourself. Prince Hugh was pacing impatiently back and forth before the door to the stables, taking care to keep his curly-toed golden slippers out of the dung. Ah, there you are, Hafsi! I have something to show you, and this time I know you'll be impressed. He waved one silk-clad arm toward his ever-present bodyguard, and Big Dorloon slid the stable door open on its rollers. Inside was the ugliest thing I'd ever seen. This is calling back to memory my experience with building something in shop class. It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. It looked like a regatta war chariot, but it was oversized, with 4 wheels instead of 2, and with a big gold-fringed umbrella on a gilded frame over the rider's box. The box itself was garishly painted with glowing rainbows, the prince's chosen symbol. Because I'm Prince Hugh. Get it? That's a stupid pun worthy of my chat. And silver spatter boards were mounted over the wheels to keep mud from besmirching. I love the word besmirch. Besmirching the driver. The whole affair looked as heavy as an ox cart in a quarry. "Isn't it glorious?" the prince asked. "It's glorious, isn't it?" he repeated pointedly. "Glorious." "Glorious, yes indeed, exactly," I said. "It's also rather large. But it looks to me like it would take about 8 horses to draw it, and right now we only have 6. "Horses? Pah! Horses are for the ordinary. My new princely chariot will be drawn by a Hajmota." "A devil tortoise? But no one's ever tamed one. It can't be done. And where would your highness get it anyway?" "I have one already," said Prince Hugh, proudly twirling his handlebar mustache. Made the gesture. "I bought it from a Bosmiri merchant who tamed it with soporific bug smoke. Come see." And he led the way further into the stable. That's when the screaming began. Normally I wouldn't use a hoary cliche like blood-curdling shrieks, but really, my heart froze at the sound. Terrible wails from both humans and horses. Morad, the stable hand, came running from the pens, wide-eyed, followed by a wood elf I didn't recognize. I got in his way, and when he tried to push past me, I grabbed him by one of his cosmetic antlers. "Oh, stop it, lady! Run for it!" "Tell me what happened, and I'll let you go," I snarled, twisting the antler for emphasis. "It's the Hajmota! It must have gotten used to the sleep smoke, because it woke up, mad!" He looked over his shoulder, trembling. "It's eating the horses, and we're next! Let me go!" I let him go. And then, out of the depths of the barn, came the thundering devil tortoise, its jaws still dripping gobbets of horse. I like the word gobbets. The only way this could be better is if something trundled at some point in this story. It was charging straight toward Prince Hugh, who stood stock still, watching it. I realized he was paralyzed with fear. I barely made it, but I tackled the prince and knocked him out of the way just before the Hajmota would have trampled him. It passed us, trundling, then stopped short and turned. It was shockingly nimble, and whacked Dorloon with its heavy tail, sending him flying in one direction, and his two-handed sword in another. Then it focused on us, murder in its red, piggy eyes. I was sprawled atop Prince Hugh, who was pawing at me with his pudgy hands and bleating, "Save me, Halfsea! Save me!" As the thing stepped closer and opened its great beak, I tried to think of a spell, any spell, but with the prince wheezing at me, my mind was a blank. The prince, wheezing. Suddenly, a spell formed in my mind. I blurted it out and slapped the Hajmota on its nose. Magicka poured from me and into the beast, which blinked, snorted, and began to shake its head left and right. I just shook my head left and right. It opened its jaws wide and burst out in great racking gasps, and then flung its legs out and flopped down, lungs heaving. In less than a minute it was dead, suffocated. Oh, he used the water breathing spell on it. Because it couldn't find any water to breathe. Nice. I helped the prince up, dusting off his silken robes except for the part where he'd sat in horse dung, which I pretended not to notice. What happened to it, Halfsea?" he said, his eyes narrowed. "You didn't use any magic on it, did you?" It must have been a delayed reaction to the bug smoke. A breathing problem." I nodded it emphatically. "Yes, it must have been the smoke. Remember the time I wore that Rihad musk and you couldn't stop sneezing? Like that." "Ah, yes. Well, that was lucky, wasn't it? Dorloon, run after that merchant and get my money back. I'm going to have to buy another 6 horses. He looked fondly at the hideous chariot. "Maybe 8. Okay, dude, I gotta tell you, I could sit here and read these fucking stories of Prince Hugh all day long. I need more of these in my life. Because they are hilarious. Alright, well, I don't know what the fuck is going on in here. Maybe I don't want to know. But what I do know is that is going to do it for this episode. That's all the time we have. So, thank you for watching. this has been Josiah Plays The Elder Scrolls Online Thieves Guild DLC.